the biggest trends are where there's a lot of market excitement. So one, I would say that, there's a lot of movement toward new indications. So historically, cell therapies have been very focused in oncology. That's been the majority of the market. And now we're seeing movement into autoimmune, as well as other diseases and indications. So not only the recent approvals, in hematology as well as moving into using CAR Ts in autoimmune, neuro, cardiovascular, and other indications. So I think adding this has become a big trend, and in a way to be able to get to more patients, which I think is also really exciting. Another trend that I'm seeing is really there's been a lot more focus on not just the process for manufacturing, but the analytics. And this is really critical to be able to define the puts and takes of your process. You need to have those process analytics and defining what those real critical parameters are. So I think those are some of the major trends that I'm seeing in the advanced therapies. The pandemic has impacted us in many ways in how we look at our supply chain, how we can get into clinics, and where the priority of the sector is. So I don't think the indications have been impacted, but I think the supply chain and the ecosystem has been strengthened because we found some failure points that have now been reinforced. So I think that's been one benefit if you want to look at the pandemic, giving us any silver lining. The other element, and I think this is maybe more of a challenge that the industry's been facing post-pandemic, has been the funding environment. And the funding, particularly in 2023, was an extremely challenging year for biotechs, but also for all of those in the sector, CDMOs included. And I see that as I think there's a lot more optimism going into 2024 that this is improving, and that you see not only healthy M&A activity, but also new trials, additional indications, and of course the approvals. So I think that's been a great tailwind as we're going into 2024. We're supporting the developers, and so the challenges they face, we face with them. So when they have funding challenges, when they need to pick between a number of programs, that this then carries over for us as well, in being able to support them, given the reduced number and some of the difficult decisions that they're making. I think the other challenge is on really working with our clients and with the developers in general on their process. And this is a challenge that I think we're facing together. And with some of the improvements in the manufacturing process, as well as ways that you can mitigate. So, for example, at Catalent, we launched a CAR T platform to address one of these big risks. And that CAR T platform was designed to help reduce some of the risks in manufacturing by helping to standardize the process, as well as to close the process. And of course, having analytics that go hand in hand. And that's another major challenge that the industry is facing. And CDMOs have a role to help resolve that, not only in executing the assays, but also in helping to develop panels that the developers can benefit from to reduce the time to clinic. I'm optimistic, and I really think that these are life-changing therapies. So I think in 5 years, we're going to see a significant number, not only increasing number of approvals, but we're going to see a lot more allogeneic therapies on market. I think we're also going to see a lot more indications being benefited in patients, a larger patient populations being benefited by these advanced therapies. I'm also very bullish and believe that these advanced therapies will become frontline therapies, not just third level and to fifth level. You're already seeing this, and I do believe that given the curative impact that they have, that they will become frontline. Phacilitate was great as usual, and it was great to have the industry coming together around some key points. I think one key topic was the some of the challenges facing CAR T developers in particular, given some of the feedback from the agency, and I think there's been a good response. The paper in Nature that was just recently published, and Bruce Levine and others really providing a balanced view of how we can put this into context. This was a key topic, and I think an important one, right, as we look at these therapies, not only their curative potential, but putting some of the adverse events into context so that we can continue to advance the sector. There's a lot of enthusiasm and excitement around the new indications that are being targeted with these therapies. And I think the industry in general is quite optimistic about the funding environment going into 24, which is quite nice to see, especially coming off of a very challenging year in fiscal 23. The final one I would say is around the analytics. There continues to be a lot of focus on analytical development, not only in the assays and how we look at our process, critical process parameters, but also in the tools in which to assess them, particularly in process, in order to be able to move things more quickly. So lots of great points of discussion at the conference. It's always important to acknowledge, the partnership that this sector has with the regulatory agencies. It's a lot of times you think through, you know, how are we going to get these really innovative and life-changing therapies to patients? And the MOHs around the world have an obligation to ensure that not only are they efficacious but safe as well. And when you're developing a living product, there are a lot of new considerations and new ways of thinking. And so the collaboration that happens across the industry and sector with the regulatory agencies is a really important one. And I've been really pleased to see the open collaboration and discussion and willingness to really understand and to do things differently, especially as is warranted for these advanced therapies.